Slaptail Squad, assemble.
If you're listening to this, you remember the great Slaptail Nation, my nation. And who am I? I'm the Beaveman, master of the universe, creator of all things great and small, and Lord High Commander of the great Slaptail Nation Army. Here we today, live in the Beaver Den, with an ass so fine it'll make you want to violate the first commandment. The Padme to my Darth Vader, the Evil to my Skeletor, and the Harley Quinn to my ever-so-sane Joker. I give you the heart-shaped ass that is the Swan. Say hello, Swan.
Hello, Swan.
Swan, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I graduated today.
Oh, you did? Graduated from?
PT.
You graduated from physical therapy.
I did.
Good for you.
Yeah. They said I'm not normal, but you're as close as you're going to get.
I said PT, not therapy. Like
right. Not as in the mental therapy. That's ongoing. That's ongoing.
Yeah, you're never going to graduate from that one.
No.
Swan, we have a special guest with us today.
Yay.
I'm going to set some ground rules for you, Swan.
No interrupting?
No, we'll get there. We'll get there, Swan.
Okay, ground rules. Let me guess.
I'm going to introduce... No, you want to guess the ground rules?
No, I don't want to guess. I was just interrupting like I normally do.
Okay, well, I'm going to introduce the guest, and then I'll give you the ground rules so that he can
Oh, don't step on his jokes.
No.
Oh. Is that one of them?
You're already interrupting.
Okay.
You're already interrupting me.
Okay.
Okay,
let's try
again.
Right, go ahead.
Also with us today here, all the way from, I'm assuming you're still in Ohio, Adam.
Yeah.
Yes, he's in Ohio. He's in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Where they famously WKRP, Swan. Do you remember WKRP?
I do.
Johnny Fever. It was Johnny Fever action. Lonnie Anderson back in the day.
Well, introduce him so we can
and
talk.
Bailey was hot too. Okay, anyway. Also with us today, all the way from Cincinnati, Ohio, comedian, producer, podcaster, author, and also, would you say a movie producer coming up soon, right? Yeah. He's like, yeah, maybe. Adam Minnick, welcome to the show.
Hey, good to be here.
All right, good to have you. Okay, now here's the rules, Swan.
Okay, I'm ready. Should I take notes?
No, I'm gonna. If you just.
Okay.
All right, just give me a second, Swan. Here's the rules, Swan.
Okay.
Adam is a clean comic, clean comedian. Swan,
don't say bad words.
Swan is not a clean podcaster.
No.
So Swan, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you this tin container.
Uh-huh.
See this tin container? Also, shout out to Mudwater. No, they don't sponsor us, but you really should.
You should.
Mudwater, empty Mudwater container. I'm going to give you this, Swan, because it makes noise. I'm going to hand that to you. Okay, Swan. Now, also, what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you this handful of quarters.
I can't reach.
Okay, I want to hand it to you.
Oh God, the jar's gonna get full. I'm sure.
Now, Swan, your goal, your goal, Swan, is not to fill that bucket or not to run.
Okay, so what words count? The F word, does that count as one or two?
I feel like the F word is primarily your problem.
It is.
So I any swear word is going to count, Swan, but mostly the F word.
All right.
Mostly you dropping the F bombs.
Okay. I'm gonna
important.
see if I can do it. I'm gonna go with I can't.
Okay. Well, we're gonna give it a try.
I don't mind swearing. You can swear. I don't care.
Well, yeah. I think it's really like it goes back to my child who's now 18. She would, when we would be like, "Hey, talk about your mom," she'd be like, "What the bleep bleep bleep?" I'm like, "Okay, that's bad. That's pretty bad when your child has a bleep bleep bleep."
That's how she described
talking
you.
about your mom.
That's how she described you.
Yeah.
Conversations with my mother. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as I was telling Adam before the show, we don't really do interviews. We just kind of going to ask you some questions to make you at ease with us. And then we'll just kind of chat about whatever happens to pop into my brain.
I like it.
Be scared.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So these are like my most questions that I really want to know. So Adam, you do clean comedy. Okay. Why?
Well, I think, and like he said, he doesn't mind swearing. So, what do you call clean comedy? Like, what do you like?
Clean comedy, the way I think of it is like if I do a joke in front of a crowd and there's a child in that crowd, the parent doesn't have to have an awkward conversation with the child. Like the kid's like, oh, what's dingleberry? Whatever, like a parent's like, oh, I'm not ready for my kid to know this. Basically clean what would be acceptable on a Tonight Show, that kind of clean comedy. And why I do clean comedy is a good question. It's because I grew up watching Seinfeld do stand-up. Victor Borge, old school, a Danish comedian, very clean. And I love that. I love to have the challenge of writing a clean set. It is more challenging, I think, as opposed to a dirtier set. But I love all types of comedy. I love Eddie Murphy, Norm Macdonald, Chris Rock, Chappelle, David Spade. I like it all. But I prefer to do. I've got jokes that push the envelope, that cross the line. But in general, like for me, I like doing clean comedy.
Yeah, I think that in part of that, I believe too, and I don't know if this is some of your reasoning behind it. I think that does make you more marketable also. Kind of opens you up to a bigger range of audiences and bookers for people who would want to put you on shows and TV someday. Like if somebody was to see you, they're like, oh, this guy he does clean comedy really well. Let's put him in a pilot. Let's see how he would do, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and this March, I'm doing my first cruise ship. So I do 2 shows a night for 10 nights, and I do a 45-minute clean set and a completely different 30-minute clean set. So
nice.
It's a lot of writing. As you guys know, it's a lot of writing.
Mm-hmm. Do you stocking up on the scopolamine to go on your trip?
What's that?
Scopolamine, it's a little transdermal. It's a little sticker that you put behind your ear for motion sickness.
No.
Last 72 hours.
Have you been on lots of cruises? Have you been on a cruise before?
I've never been on a cruise ship. I always said my first cruise ship I'm going to be doing comedy on it. So that's one of my goals I wanted to check off. I finally get to check it off. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, that's good then.
I have to catch a ship in Guatemala. So I don't think Duolingo teaches you how to say, please don't cut my head off in Spanish.
No, Duolingo doesn't. You got to pay for the premium package.
Well, probably that one that you're using does.
Yeah, I bet you mine does. JumpSpeak?
He's using JumpSpeak.
JumpSpeak
and
is
it's
hilarious.
got hilarious conversations on it.
Really? I should look into that.
Yeah, even where they swear. They'll be like, shit. You're like, mierda. It's very funny. They will actually have arguments with each other, like you're at the bank and the person's giving you a hard time and you have an argument. It's supposed to be
such a jerk.
Yeah, you're a jerk. Yeah, it's very funny. It's a good.
It's more real. It seems more realistic.
It is very real.
Where is the book? Yeah. So
donde está la biblioteca?
Yeah.
No, I think it's a good. I don't do. Okay, I don't do. What's a way to say it?
Your comedy is not vulgar.
No, it's gallows humor.
Dark.
It's gallows humor, so it's not. It would still be along the same lines, though. You're like. You don't want to, a parent doesn't want to see with a child isn't going to want to go see me either. Cause they're like, oh, I don't want to explain why this guy's infanticide to my child here. That's
a light topic. It's very light.
They don't want to, why is this guy saying it's okay to kill your mother under certain circumstances? It's also difficult to explain to a small child, I imagine.
Yeah.
But what do you think do you think there's a big challenge to being a clean comedian, or do you think it's other than writing? I mean, I think it's easier. Oh, I'm probably going to get some hate for this. I think it's easier not to be clean. I think it's way harder. It's much harder to do clean comedy.
It is, but I've been doing it over 20 years. So now my brain is trained to just think clean. I have thoughts like, I'll give you an example in a moment, but like the way I've written for so many years, like I automatically write clean. Now I have these moments where there's a story about a couple in Iowa. They took a aluminum pipe and they put colored gunpowder in it to make it for a the gender reveal party. And it's an aluminum pipe and they could put gunpowder in it. They made a pipe bomb because they're idiots. Right. And so if the thing took off, the shrapnel killed the grandmother. And my thought was it a boy or girl? You don't know yet. But that's kind of where my brain goes sometimes with these things like that. It goes to the darker side. But overall, like my brain has been trained to write clean for so long that's just what I do. It's natural.
Nice. That reminds me of a story.
Yeah.
One of my friends, when he was in high school, his buddy made a pipe bomb and put the end cap on and everything. Forgot to drill a hole in the end cap to put the fuse in.
Oh no. Oh,
and
geez.
so he went into his father's garage, into the drill press, used a drill press, and blew himself apart.
Jesus, that's terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. But then I asked my buddy, I'm like, well, what color were his eyes? Well, they were blue. You know, one blew this way.
Yeah.
One blew that way.
Did he die?
That's fine.
Yes, he died.
I don't know. I
He
think you could just
absolutely
like blow
died.
your arms off or something.
No,
I
it was a
don't know.
pipe bomb. As soon as you apply that heat and that spark, that was all you needed. Blew him apart. Blew him all over the garage.
And how old was this person?
He was a teenager.
So dumb and tragic.
It is tragic.
That's a teenager thing, though. That's a teenager move. You do dumb things.
You're doing dumb things. I mean, we all did dumb things.
Yeah.
But pipe bombs were like, I'm surprised I didn't. Well, I know why I didn't make them, but a lot of my friends made pipe bombs.
Why didn't you make them?
Didn't have the equipment. Didn't have the. I
He was
could not
on
get
your watch list.
Yeah, I couldn't get the gunpowder.
Oh, I was gonna say in your dad's like garage of every single.
He didn't have
12
gunpowder.
tools?
We didn't have
Okay.
access to gunpowder. All my friends did. What you would do is you just take a 12 gauge shotgun shell back when they were
I
inexpensive.
don't think you should tell people how to make pipe bombs.
Okay,
I
anyway.
think that's a bad idea. Just Google it, people. Google it.
Well, this is
Or don't.
well. There was also a very popular book when I was a kid that you could buy everywhere. Now you can't buy it anywhere. If you attempt to buy it, you're going to go on a watch list.
I feel like we've talked about
Yes,
this. If you
and I will
search
not
it-
say yes, and
if
I
you
won't
search
say
it,
the
you
name of the
get-
book.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
It's called the Anarchist Cookbook. Anyway, no. Swan, did you have any questions to put Adam at ease? I feel like he's already at ease. I
mean,
feel like we've already
he's-
got him at ease.
Maybe
I'm
he's just not a
eased.
nervous kind of person. But no, I just thought of, because when we first started talking to our other friend of the show, co-host, member of the squad, Nemo, he always used to say that people used to always make him be funny. So do people that you know, like your friends or family, expect you to be funny or be the monkey that tells jokes all the time? Or do you do that in public, like in your situations with family or friends?
I just automatically just make comments or jokes. I actually like to cross the line, especially with my sister-in-law, because it never gets old. She hates it. I'll just make comments or So I just automatically do it. I'm just sarcastic at times, and I love commenting on moments. So I'd heard this but after comedy shows. A comic had told me one time, is like, when don't go out with people after the show, because they want you there to keep making jokes. Like, they want free entertainment. Like, they don't care about you, which they maybe not. But I guess in one way he's right. Like, yeah, they're looking for the fun to keep going. And I've worked with comics who can't turn it off after the show. I mean, they're high energy on the show. And after the show, you hang out with the people at the bar, whatever, having drinks, and he's constantly on. And I don't know. I can't do that.
No.
When I'm done, I'm done. I want to have a Guinness, sit back, relax, have conversation, talk about things. That's kind of how I am.
I think I saw once. I think it was like Louis C.K.'s show, which was just like Louis. And they had made comments about that before, but then they showed them all going out to dinner, like after their really late night sets in New York City. And they're all depressed and they're all just sitting there drinking, not saying anything, just sitting around, all comedians, not saying a word, just drinking. I think that's how they actually normally, that's pretty much what they really normally look like.
I mean, you think about it, you're on stage you do 2 shows a night, you do a 45-minute set, do that twice. I mean, you're pretty tired, which I think is, I've just getting over a head cold, but I try to go to the gym at least 3 times a week, because I can, it's nice because the gym has a little place called Kid Town. My kid can hang out there and they can watch them. But it's good to keep that endurance up, because you're doing 2 shows a night. It's exhausting. It's like, typically I won't eat until I'm done at the show. And so I want to have my dinner. I want to have a Guinness. I want to sit back and relax, but I also enjoy the company, because it does get depressing. You're up there, you're doing shows, and then everyone goes home, and then there you are, you're alone. So it's the thing where you're going to be, comics are typically I don't know, you do this for so long, it's a lonely business. You know, you're on the road a lot by yourself. But I can get that. Like, again, like after a show, I'm done. I'm done working. I mean, if you want to talk, I'll talk. I love talking to people. I even say that during the show, like, hey, after the show, let's hang out, whatever. But if you expect me to keep cracking jokes, I'm probably not going to do that.
No.
You know, I might do a joke I forgot to do on stage, but like, hey, I forgot to do this one. But other than that, I'm done. So
yeah, it's nice. That's it. I think one of the things from us starting to do kind of working in entertainment, which we obviously started later in life, we've realized that entertainers are actually people. So now, you know, even you can actually approach them now and say,
people
hey.
are like afraid to approach people, or they're like, oh, they're a star. Or whatever.
Yeah, which we don't
like,
do that anymore.
No,
we're like, no,
I mean,
probably
we
bored.
recognize that you're our talent and whatever, but we're going to treat you like a person because we've done that. We've worked in healthcare forever, and we treat every patient the same. Like, it doesn't matter if you're...
That's not true, you sons of bitches. If you're going to be... Okay, never mind.
I do. I don't care if you're the CEO of the hospital or you're the homeless guy. Then you're, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're still getting the same treatment. I'm going to give you good care either way. So same thing with our talent.
Well, what I meant was it's okay to approach them and say, hey, great show. How are you doing? Do you want to go, are you free? You want to go get some dinner? You want to relax, whatever. You don't have to be like, I'm not saying that this is free license for everybody, like, hey, come out with us. But I know some people get bored like that. You listen to podcasts have been great for that too, because you actually learn these things from, their perspective where like, hey, somebody asked me to go hang out with them. And then I showed up that next day and they're like, why the fuck is this guy here? Because you asked me last night when we were drunk to come hang out. And so here I am.
Yeah. But you also keep in mind too, like, as performers, like we're hardest on ourselves. So like if we have a show that it looks like it went great from the crowd, but to me, like it didn't go that great. Like my wife finally came to a show because after so many months, I was doing a theater show, and I think I did like 50 minutes. And after show, she's like, "Good, you did a good job." I'm like, "It was okay." She's like, "You're insane. That was a good show. Everything stuck. Everything was good." I'm like, "Yeah, but I could have done this better. I could have done that better." That's kind of the mentality of a comic, though. Like I never want to be like, I want to be okay with the set. I never want to be like happy with the set. Because like, to me, that's me wanting to improve myself, make myself better. Like I want to do better next show. It's just not realistic. You're going to have a show that doesn't go great, it is what it is. It's the beauty of stand-up. Not every show is going to be great. It's not going to be the same show. You do 2 shows in one night. The second show might not be as good as the first one, but you do the same material. It doesn't land as well with the second audience. So
right. So you're saying that there's at times when you do comedy where you feel joy?
What's joy?
Is that something that's supposed to occur, or what is joy? What does that mean? What is this concept?
What? I've learned over the years, like, don't let the highs get too high. Don't let the lows get too low. I've heard that from other comics. I think Bill Burr said it. Someone said that. And it is true. Like, I'll have a show that I've been really happy with, but I'm like, I got to keep myself in check. Like, okay, enjoy this. And I do this now, like, because maybe I'll have a show next week that doesn't go as great. And don't beat yourself up. And now I used to be beside myself if the show didn't go well. I'll spend 2 days, 2 or 3 days after the show, like, oh man, I missed this. I could have done this better. I screwed this up. Now I'm like, whatever. Give me an hour after the show. I'm like, okay, tomorrow, like Conan O'Brien would always talk about that. He's like, I learned to get over it and learn to work with that, because now I think, the world will still spin. The sun will come up. I'll have another show to redeem myself. Because that's just how I look at it now.
Yeah. I get that. I used to beat myself up all the time when patients would die continuously, and after a while, I was like, yeah.
Okay, he worked in the ER.
I mean, yeah.
So a lot of them did die. But
no, I was talking about just family practice, Swan.
Oh,
people
okay.
just constantly dying.
People dying. You used to be like, get them out of the ER real quick, and they're alive, and then they come to me in critical care and they die, and he's like, well, they didn't die on my watch. They were alive when I left.
That's right. I had a great record, great track record.
Yeah. So my question, I had that same question. Do you hang out with people after the show or whatever?
Well, then why bring it up?
No, wait. I had a follow up to it. That's why. And so, like, what is, like, I'm sure people give you compliments, like, great show or whatever. What's one of the most awkward compliments or backhanded or bad situation that you're like, that you received, or, you know, bad advice or bad whatever from anybody?
Oh,
Like feedback?
Like bad feedback. Yeah. Like, this was terrible. Has that ever happened to you where someone's come up into you and had an awkward interaction?
well, this is awkward because this has happened to me, and in the good and the bad, where I'll be standing next to a comedian and they did great and I didn't do that well. And the audience, someone will come up and go, you did great. I didn't like the first guy. And I'm like, I was the first guy. Like, oh, and like, oh, no, I didn't mean it that way. I'm like, the fuck you didn't. Like, don't be an asshole. And the comic, he's like, you know what? He did better than me the first show. Like, he was really nice about it. So I always keep that in mind and I've had that happen to me, like, oh, you were way better than the headliner. And I was featuring. I'm like, I go, yeah, but I had 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. He has 45 minutes. Right. That's way harder than 20 minutes. Or even like hosting, like, oh, I thought you were the best one, better than the feature and headline. It's like, yeah, I did 10 minutes. That's easy. That's not, I'm like, I try to be nice. I understand what they're doing. They're being nice. Sure. Or I've been on the bad end where like, oh, and maybe one guy's like, hey, oh, I've gotten this before. They go, hey, how many times how long have we been doing this? Like, keep it up. You'll get it. You know, like, we've been doing this over 20 years. I would kind of get, I don't know, that gets annoying. It's like, oh, you should keep at it, man. You'll get it. I'm like, I know that. Like, I probably seem like a very, I don't know, pretty callous person when they say that to me. Like, I'm like, whatever. But I don't like that though. And they're like, oh, the other comic you did better than the guy. I'm like, don't do that. That's my coworker. Sure. That's my buddy on stage. Like, they worked as hard as I do. And they've had shows better than mine. So that is the most awkward when you're on the bad end of it.
Yeah.
So
we like to mess with our friend. I don't know if you know him. His name's Mike Ateo, but he does comedy in New Jersey and New York. And he's always telling us, he's like, oh, I did this show, and people came up to me afterward and they're like, told me you were the best one. And I'm like, well, what show were they watching? He's like, fuck off.
I said to people, yeah, good show. I'm like, were you at the show? Are you sure you saw the same show I was on? Because it was a good show.
Yeah, it was interesting. We just saw, so we went and we saw Maria Bamford in Chicago at the Den Theater. And she's like my absolute favorite. She's my top favorite. And I was telling Swan, I'm like, we got to see her after the show. She was gone. I mean, she hid. I'm like, you could tell. I was like, there's her. You know, she's beating herself up right now, even though she's slayed. Yeah. She immediately went and hid.
Well, and she said right at the beginning of it, she's like, I'm introverted. I hate this. I can't wait to be done. And yeah, like that was part of her bit, was like, it's awkward and I'm not a people person and I don't want to talk to people and I'm up here and I'm doing this and I can't wait for it to be over. Like,
it just started. I got it to be done.
So that reminds me of a topic. I am not a big Maria Bamford fan. I don't get it, you know. But that's comedy. Not everyone's going to get the same thing. What really bugs me is when the young comics go, "Oh, I love Bill Hicks. Oh, I love blah blah." It's like, no, you don't. You're saying it because you don't. You don't, because you're saying that. Maybe you do, but it can't be so many new comics love Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
I don't find Bill Hicks funny. I think he's brilliant. I think what he says still applies to today. It's amazing how that works. Like, same to George Carlin. But like, so many young comics like, oh, Bill Hicks is the best. Like, no, you don't. You're saying that because it's cool to say that. Mm-hmm. It's like the thing to say. Like, I can't get in. I don't know. I love Norm Macdonald. I love Rock. You know, I love Chappelle, Seinfeld, all those guys. But I can't get into Bill Hicks. And I can't. I think George Carlin was brilliant. He's more of a philosopher than a comic, but a philosopher. But I don't think it's hilarious. You know.
Well, it's kind of like the same way with me. Like, I don't like Seinfeld. Just, I don't.
And I can see why. I get why people don't like Seinfeld. I get it.
Yeah, and I can understand. Like, you know, we have conversations. People will ask me, like, "Oh, who's your favorite comedian?" I'm like, "Well, it's two. My two top favorites." I'm like, my favorite is Maria Bamford, and then my second favorite one is Anthony Jeselnik. So I'm like, that's my first two favorites. I'm like, they're kind of similar in a way. Both, I don't know. Like, you have to have a certain mindset to like them. You know what I mean?
Jeselnik is a guy, I think he's hilarious, but you have to understand these are just jokes. Like, he didn't really kill his dog or whatever. Like,
Right.
But he's so dark and he's so funny. But yeah, he's a guy, like, if people think he's serious, like, this guy's an awful human being. No, he's funny. They're dark jokes. Yeah.
Whereas I like to do my jokes to make people wonder if I'm actually that bad. With this guy, I feel like he might actually be that way. Actually, I might be. Actually, might be. A lot of those jokes they did come up. Does this ever happen to you? Let me ask you, because you've been doing this a really long time. Yeah. When do your jokes, do you like sit down and concentrate on like writing? I listened to, I can't remember what podcast he was on. It might have been Smartless. Seinfeld was on and was talking about his early days where he would just literally say, I'm going to write jokes for 2 hours about a stop sign, and he could totally do it. Do you concentrate on something like challenge yourself and say, I'm going to write jokes about, a Sensi stick or something like that? Or does it just come to you when you're drifting off to sleep? Or what do you think your process is for coming up with jokes?
I have to think of the premise of a joke. I write it in my phone, like what I'll do if I'm driving, I'll do a voice recording, and then I'll sit down and I try to write every day. I don't have enough information like to write every day. I don't have that. Plus, I don't have that discipline. I write almost every day, I feel like, but not every single day. I couldn't just sit down and write about a stop sign. Like, I think of things that pop in my head when I'm driving, like, my mom bought me for Christmas, just happened, a pair of boxer briefs, which is, I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's weird. But then I get into the idea. I get into the idea where, I think it's awkward. I'm not much of a man or a grown up or mature enough, because when I find it awkward buying boxer briefs at Target or wherever I'm at, because it's got the picture of the guy on the front. Like, why do they think I'm going to put him on backwards? Like, why is he wearing that? And the eyes follow you like a painting. These are just all ideas in my head. And then, like, I do like any grown up does when it comes down to buying awkward stuff. I just order on Amazon. We're not to face anyone. But that's kind of like a thought and I sat down and wrote that 2 days ago. I had time to go to a coffee shop and write, because my in-laws are in town. They can watch my son. So, like, to sit down every day and write on just anything, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Seinfeld's a whole new level, kind of like Norm Macdonald. Those guys are a whole new level of comedy, like, because they're just. But I try to write because it's the hard work, and I'm finding that, the more you write, the better you become. It becomes more. I don't know. I think some of my best stuff has come lately because of how long I've been doing it and how much writing I do. I don't know, but there's still a bunch of. I write 10 jokes. 6 or 7 of them won't work. Sure. They just they die, they bomb. So
that's a pretty good percentage.
Sometimes there's some nights I'll do 4 jokes, new ones and they work, and then some nights, most nights it seems like I'll do a bunch of new jokes and maybe one or none will work. But I go to a lot of music open mics because my time is so limited. I can't sit at an open mic, a comic open mic, for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Sure. They do 5 minutes. I go to a music open mic. They let me do 20 minutes.
Nice. Okay.
Right. I have an unbiased crowd. They're not there for comedy. So if they laugh at it, the joke will probably work in a club. So like I get 2 nights a week. I told my wife that. We agreed on it. 2 nights a week for open mic. Because I don't want to be an absent father. I want to see my kid. He's 3.5. Like,
nice.
These are the best years. Like, I don't want to miss all that. So I do 2 nights a week. I go out, hit 2 or 3 music open mics a night. Sometimes it's just one, depending on how because I make dinner for them, then I get out the door. Sometimes I have dinner before I leave. And then when I'm doing a show, even when I do a show, I'll try new jokes. If I'm bombing, if the show is going just horribly, I'll do 3 new jokes because, okay, they don't like what I'm doing that has worked. Why not try 3 new jokes? And if these work, they're going to go great in my next show that is going well. Mm-hmm. If the show's okay, I'll do like 2 jokes. If the show's going great, I'll do 1, maybe 2 new jokes. Like, I'm always trying to do new stuff on a show, no matter what. Because it's a captive audience.
Sure. Yeah.
So your 45 minutes is kind of fluid then. You're like, you can change it up if you need to.
it has to be the same order. It's got to be the same order all the way through. But I'll take a little cheat sheet with me with the new topics on it. Because I'm not going to sit and memorize a joke that maybe it's going to bomb. I'm not going to do it. I'll just take a cheat sheet. And it's interesting how comedy crowds have changed. Like when I started, no shorts on stage.
Right.
No notebook when you're doing a book show. They preferred you to be shaven. You should dress a little nicer. Now they don't care. Audiences are like, okay, we just want it to be funny. Whether you take a note, I've seen headliners take a notebook up with them, on a book show. Like,
how about slides with socks?
Dirty socks.
Dirty socks and slides, like Adidas slides. No.
I've seen that. I've seen
Crocs.
Basketball shorts, sweatpants.
Yeah.
But in the end, like, people are like, if it's funny, that's all they care about. I've seen back in the day, like, you would never see anyone wear shorts on stage. And I was like, people wear shorts. Like, that's not for me. I feel very awkward. I don't want people looking at my legs.
Especially the shorts I wear, I would not wear my shorts. No, I have worn them. One time I did, but it was a very specific show. I did wear because I wear shorty shorts.
Yeah.
So, child of the 70s and 80s, I wear shorty shorts.
The short shorts.
Like
you were Daisy Dukes. You were Daisy Dukes, don't you?
Not Daisy Dukes.
Well, basically, they're silkies.
Yeah, but they're not
silkies.
jean Daisy Dukes.
No, not jean. I don't wear jeans. No.
No jean shorts.
No.
They're just like silkies running shorts.
Yeah, or we call them Ranger panties is what we call them. But that's what I wear. That's what I wear. But I did wear those on stage once, but it was for a Veterans Day show, so
okay.
That was why. But no, I always do you find that you wear something very similar so that people kind of recognize you, like, oh, that's kind of his brand.
I sometimes will wear a leather jacket on stage. Sometimes I'll wear a t-shirt with a jacket. Like, I like wearing jackets on stage. That's kind of like my thing. Sometimes I'll just sort of button up. I don't know. I have to wear something different. I get to the place, I got to change before I go on stage. So got to get into my comedy uniform in a way. And I kind of want to look presentable, that's just how I started out wearing suits on stage. So I don't want to do that again. Maybe I'll wear it one time, just a couple times I'll try that. When I'm doing a cruise ship, I have to wear a suit. Wow. But no, I kind of try to look a little more presentable if I can. Jeans, always jeans or green jeans. I prefer green jeans I like wearing. But no, something looks a little nicer, I guess.
Now, this show that you're doing for us will actually be the first show that we've produced that I will not be on. So it's kind of interesting. This will be exciting.
Oh, okay.
Because I have decided to step away. I usually host. I'm stepping away from hosting. So this will be the first show that I have not hosted. And I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm not excited to pay a host, but I'm excited. But I'm excited to see how it goes.
Because then you get to actually watch also.
Yeah, I never get to. I don't.
Because we're so busy behind the scenes doing like sound or getting things wrangled up, and you get to watch, but it's like watching with a timer and other stuff going on in the background.
Yeah, no, I get that. No, that'll be. I mean, I'm glad you'll still be there. That'll be nice.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be there. It's just this will be the first time where I'm not hosting. I've stepped away from hosting because my comedy is so dark that I feel like the host should be a little bit more
uppity,
bubbly, maybe
bubbly. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, bubbly. I don't know. And it's you immediately hit a crowd with talking about how it's sometimes your mom deserves to be killed. One of my favorite jokes is to talk about matricide and how it should be available at Mattress Mart, and you don't want to remove the wrapping. Pro tip: don't remove the wrapper. That sort of thing. I find that if you're the host doing those jokes, anyway, as a gallows humor comedian, anyway, not everybody laughs at me unless they came there to see that sort of thing. So.
I once did a show at a theater where the host was bombing, so he went to his 9/11 jokes. He went to the people that died in the submarine jokes. He went to COVID death jokes. Like, it was like, and he wore shorts on stage.
Nice. And he did horribly. Did horribly. Yeah.
It wasn't good.
Not good.
So.
Not good. No.
Yeah.
No, so I'm definitely very excited to see it. This is so part of the reason why we produce shows anyway is we see all these, we go out, we scout our comedians as best as we can. A lot of times people will say, hey, can you put us on one of your shows? We're like, okay, don't send us a clip. I want to go see you. If it's feasible for me to go see you, or then I'll like snoop around and ask people, how did they do? If you're out in that area, I'll ask people. So then in your mind, you're like, I want to see these people in a show. This, like, what kind of show would I want to see? And then you put it together and you're like, shit, I didn't even get to see that show. And so that's part of the problem with producing it. And so now as not being the host, I'm like, oh, good. I get to see this actual show that I wanted to see, which is nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice to be able to do that. Yeah. So I'm excited for the show.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to have you. Can you talk to us a little bit about I'm really interested in this movie that you're doing. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Oh, okay. So I did a movie. This is, I wrote the script years ago. I went to LA, pitched it to a producer, his brothers and that. And you have to have all this money up front to even get it going. So I decided to go to, let's do like an independent film. And so I took a scene from it, but based on my grandparents being in the camps during World War II. They survived the camps and everything. Polish Catholics, a lot of Catholics were the second highest concentration in the camps were the Catholics, Polish Catholics. And so I did a scene just from the script, and we shot it. And I after doing that and editing and all that with it, I have a whole new respect for movies, even bad movies. Like the amount of time it goes into making. No one's going to purposely make a bad movie. So I entered that into an independent film festival in New York City as like the young producers, like first time producers. And I got in, and it was okay. It was an okay experience. It's cool to do it. It was in Manhattan. But I was like, yeah, I'm good after that. After going through it, I knew like, the amount of money it takes to even get it looked at and get it started. Like I did a crowdsourcing thing. I didn't raise enough money. I'm like, was not meant to be. And it was it's something I wanted to do. And I think as I went through the whole process, I was like, I'm good at just doing an independent film, like one scene and shoot that and enter into a film festival. And I did it. I could check it off, Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of the movie.
Yeah. When I read the description, I was like, he really should say which side his grandparents were on. I was like, I'm like, you're leaving it open to interpretation. I'm like, so were they Nazis or were they like, what were they? You should do a Nazi love, do the reverse of that. Take a grandparents that were the Nazis and talk about their escape to Guatemala or something like that. That'd be a fun movie.
Argentina. They went to Argentina.
There we go. Somewhere like that.
Argentina loved the Nazis. So they brought them in.
And now, okay. So also you wrote a book, a children's book. Is that right?
Yeah, children's book. Yeah.
So was that before or after you were a dad?
That was before. It was for my nephews and nieces. So
okay.
I was like, I want to do that. So I typically found it like if I want to do something, I just do it. I don't like being around people that sit around and say, oh, I'm going to do this, and they just never do it. So it's based as I can't remember the title. It was such a long time ago. I basically printed a whole bunch. I did an independent thing, and then I sold out of all of them after I sell them after shows, sell them online. Oh. And after I sold out of them, I'm like, I'm good.
You're like, check.
I'm done with that one too.
I checked it off. Yeah.
Checked it off.
And I keep getting phone calls from these independent publishing companies that are complete scams. They make these young, hungry authors pay like $1,000 up front, and a bookstore in Toronto loves your book. I'm like, oh, really? What's the book called? Mm-hmm. They name some kind of merchandise I'm selling off of my website, like okay, bye. I'm like, no, that's the name of a sticker I printed. So you're completely way off, and you're a scam.
Right.
There's just so many out there, and they just take people. It's sad. So yeah, I did it. Checked it off. I'm good.
So what's next on the bucket list then? Because you got a cruise ship on the bucket list that'll be checked off soon. So what's after that?
There's music, I think.
Music?
Music is next.
I actually, during COVID, I picked up the guitar. I learned to play songs. I do want to write some original songs. I'll eventually get to that. I guess the next big thing would be get a tape sent in for Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show to get on that. So I did the Nate Lynn showcase down in Nashville, the Nate Bargatze.
Nice.
Maitland Park. Did that show a few weeks ago. And that was really cool to do. And they taped it. Hopefully I'll get that. It was a really good show. The audience is amazing because they're there for clean comedy. You know, that's kind of one of the challenges of clean comedy is like people will show up. I was doing shows in Tennessee, and Friday night people showed up and they didn't know what they're getting because the website says clean comedy. Mm-hmm. And halfway through my set, I'm like, do you guys want clean or dirty? They go, dirty. I'm like, okay, well, you clearly didn't read the website. People ask, that's like, what's your challenge of clean comedy? It's like, that would be one of them. Like people expect, they come in, they want a dirty show, they get a clean comic. They're not going to enjoy it. I am not for you, you know, if you want a clean, dirty comedy. So.
I think it's good to recognize that. You're just obviously you're building an audience, you're building a following. There's plenty of opportunities for clean comedy. I think part of the reason why I personally don't do blue comedy, I guess you would say, is it all sounds the same to me, and it's all like very common theme, and it makes me uncomfortable. So I'm like, it doesn't make me feel comfortable to do it.
You can laugh at it and watch it. You just aren't. That isn't you doing comedy.
I can't. Like sometimes I can't even watch it. There's plenty of times where I'll go and watch comedy. I'm like, I don't need to hear about how you're swinging genitals and your threesome and whatever. I don't need to hear about that. I'm like, it's not my bag, baby.
There's a lot of topics that are just the same stuff over and over. Same guys, mm-hmm. It's the same stuff over and over. And it's like, okay, what else do you have?
Yeah. But how many people are talking about how hard it is to push a squirming baby through a chain link fence? Let me ask you that question, see?
I don't know. I can't give you that answer. I don't know.
What do you think about targeted ads? Do you suffer from targeted ad addiction in like Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that?
You know what? I think I used to. Like I'd buy stuff. Like I'm over that. Like I'm like done. I'm done with like. I'm trying to get rid of stuff now. That's my problem.
Well, I'm trying to get rid of stuff.
I don't buy stuff. How many things have you bought this last year? I want to check your Amazon cart or your whatever.
This year is only 3 days in.
Okay, well, last year, I asked him as part of his like, everybody's posting their what I did this year. I'm like, how much crap from online targeted Facebook, Instagram ads did you buy last year? And he had to look back, and I can think of like at least 4 things, but there's probably a lot more than that. That is so ridiculous. Like the liposuction, red light liposuction.
I bought no liposuction. There's no lipo. I didn't buy liposuction.
What is it? Red light sculpting, sculpt liposuction thing.
Like we're talking about Adam here. We're trying to find out if Adam does any of these things.
The red light wrinkle thing. What else did you buy? I don't even know.
Let's just ask Adam a question.
The nude hair removal device.
For a moment, Swan, if you don't mind. Let's ask him. Adam, how old do you think I am?
I say you are 43.
Thank you. Now, Swan, obviously those products work because I'm 51.
Oh, he was just being nice to you.
That's good.
Right. So, clearly.
And your mother doesn't use any of those, and she does not look her age.
My mother has used oil of Olay every night since I was like 3 years old.
Okay, so you probably should just use oil of Olay and call it good.
It's expensive now. It's very expensive. It's an extremely expensive product.
Not more expensive than buying all of the dumb crap that you bought that doesn't work. But okay.
I feel like I'm being targeted here when I'm
He's
asking
getting demonized. He's being demonized. It's his favorite thing.
I used to fall for it. I don't fall for it anymore.
What's the worst sort of thing did you fall for, do you think?
NBA stuff. Oh, NBA stuff in tennis shoes. Like I have too many tennis shoes.
Ooh, how many do you have?
Too many tennis shoes.
How many is too many?
This might not seem like a lot. I think I have 12 pairs.
Oh, that's nothing.
Amateur.
I probably have that many in the laundry room.
At one point, I cut myself off. I'm like, you know what? I have too many. I'm good with what I have, so I'm good.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
It's not easy
living
trying
to be better as a human.
3-stripe life.
No, I live that 3-stripe life, so I can't.
Look,
Adidas, man.
My jar's empty right now.
If they
I'm
come
doing
up
really good.
Nice.
Like 40 minutes in, and my jar's empty.
12 pair of shoe. I'm pretty sure I have 12 pair of shoe in our laundry room.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oof. You have more than I have.
I do. I have a good 2 cupboards full in the laundry room right now.
Well, this is what happens to me. if I get interested in something, I get fixated on it. So I'm like, oh, well, we'll take sneakers. Like if I get a pair of nice Adidas high tops, I'm like, those are looking pretty good. I wonder what they would look. I got to get some low tops probably to match those. They can't be the same color though. They got to look similar. And then you got to have ones to wear inside. You got to have ones to wear outside.
What are you, Mr. Rogers?
That's what I said.
Inside?
But he does wear shoes inside. So at least he's got like clean inside shoes.
I do.
Yeah.
It's better for your feet.
Because we have white carpet and
It's not white.
it's off-white, but yeah.
It's brown.
Well, no, it's not. It's beige. But okay. It's not brown. It's
brown.
Definitely more white than brown. So,
Something wrong with your color palette.
no. Okay.
Here's what the other news. This is what happens. I get obsessed with something. I try not to get obsessed with stuff that's cheap, though. That's the other thing. Like I'm like, I agree with her with the dumb shit that I buy. That's because I have self-esteem issues. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to buy this. My latest obsession is the worst obsession.
Can you guess what it is?
Can you guess what the worst obsession is that I have now?
I can't even imagine.
It's gold. So now that's my newest obsession. I'm like, fuck, I got to have more gold.
He got it gold. It started with a gold chain.
And I don't wear jewelry.
And he doesn't, he wears his wedding ring and that's like it. And only because he thinks it's something he should wear probably. But he doesn't wear watches. He doesn't like anything touching his waist. He doesn't like any of that
I have
stuff.
no pants on right now.
So no bracelets, none of that stuff. No
Not
pants.
wearing any pants.
You are wearing pants, don't
no
lie.
pants on.
Just, okay. Yeah. So then he got a gold chain and he was like, oh, it's a little bit short. I think I need a longer one. Or you got the shorter one and you wanted the longer one. So then they ordered another one. And he's like, oh, but now I like this Cuban strand. And so,
I have a Cuban. I wanted a chain.
Okay. So then you got a, what is your another one called? Or your latest one called?
The point is.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I'm like, and it's an expensive habit.
Look, it was either gold.
It is.
You know what? She shouldn't complain because my next obsession could be hookers.
That's true.
It only takes one, Swan. I get one hooker. And just
Only one. That's it. Just one.
That's it.
Okay.
What do you think about what's going on with these drones? What's the drone situation?
I don't know. I think the government knows about it and not telling us. That's what it is. I think that's what it is. Because if it was something from an enemy, like overseas, they would have shut it down by now.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's the high ranking. I don't think even low levels of government know what's going on.
No.
I think it's the high ranking. From what I've heard, it's just the really high people at the top know what it is.
I think I know what it is. But
Aliens?
yeah. It's mimicry. They're like, what can we... They've mimicked us forever. So like drones are everywhere. Like, oh, let's just build something so we can kind of check things out without raising suspicion. So there you go. And they might be organic. They might be organic or cyborg type, like, you know. That's why they can't shoot them down. And that's why they also don't shut down when they get near like major airspaces. And there's no way that China has better tech than us, because if they've made that huge intellectual leap in tech, we would know about it too, and we'd have the same stuff.
Well, I don't think we'll ever know.
Probably not in our lifetime.
No.
Well, I got another 100 years on me, so we might know by then. It's very possible. Another 100 years, I got it going on.
Yeah.
So where did you move? So you're in Cincinnati now. What's the comedy scene like in Cincinnati?
It's a good scene. I'm not here enough to go. I mean, a lot of the scene is you gotta hang out to get booked. A lot of the independent venues, I don't have time to hang out. Like I'm gone on the weekends. I do 2 open mics a night. 2 open mics a week. My other nights I'm hanging out with my family. I don't have time. If that's what it takes, I'm good. So it'd be nice to work closer to home, but it's okay. It's just the way. It's how I've decided to spend my time. Yeah. So, but that's kind of there's a lot of good comedy around here. In Cincinnati. I do the Funny Bone in Cincinnati, but that's about it.
Okay.
Some smaller venues when there's an opportunity. But yeah, that's it for me. I mean, a lot of my stuff's on the road.
Oh, nice. All right. So yeah, because I see you're actually driving. I think you're in Kentucky the day before our show. I think.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a drive. That's gonna be a fun drive. So he's gonna go to Kentucky, and then you're gonna haul butt up here. But then you're
since Lexington's like maybe an hour and a half south of me, so I'll do that. Come home that night, and then I'll head the next day. I'll drive up to you.
That's not too bad.
So it's a pretty easy drive.
It's like only like 6 hours or so up to here, I think, right? Something like that. Not too bad.
That? Okay.
6 hours.
Yeah, not bad.
With a stop at home, that'll be good.
Yeah, that'll be good. So break it up. Yeah, it'll be a good time being on the road.
Now, have you made it your goal in life when you're home to be your son's favorite over his mother?
No, he chooses his favorite. I just do my best, and hopefully he picks
hopefully
me.
He's like, pick dad. Hey, buddy, it's not as fun when I'm not here, is it?
Stop it. No.
Not as fun, is it? Who do you love more? Don't tell your mother.
He's probably still a mama's boy. If he's only like 3.5, that they still like their moms then. When he gets a little older, he'll like his dad better.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I'm still waiting for my daughter to like me more. That hasn't happened. That has not happened. So Adam, at this point in the show, we usually do a very special segment of the show. Are you on board for that?
Sure.
You just want me to swear.
Yeah, this is all on you, Swan.
Well, it's gonna happen for sure.
We don't know that for sure. Okay. This is a segment. You literally just have to listen. That's all you gotta do is you just sit here and enjoy it, enjoying the mania. This is what we call Swan's Manic Minute. I gotta pull up my timer though.
I only get a minute.
She only gets a minute. All right, Swan, are you
ready?
All right, this is the time in the show where we give Swan her chance to blow off some steam in true manic fashion, and this is Swan's Manic Minute.
One of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. And no point rambling, is now done for having no point. And may God have mercy on your soul.
Inflatable lawn decorations. I don't even know where to start with that. But anyway, $279. I looked it up. The giant inflatable pumpkin that was next to our house for like 2 months was $279. They can't even afford siding for their house, but they have a giant inflatable pumpkin. What the freaking frick? I'm not saying the bad word. I didn't say the bad word, but anyway, yeah. There's a whole subdivision in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I have pictures of it. They have an inflatable Santa thing all over their freaking, all over. They have a contest, inflatable Santas. I hate them. My running buddy sends me pictures. I have an entire collection of inflatable bull crap that she has sent me pictures and selfies of. The neighbors down the road, they have 43 of them. We counted. It's disgusting. 43. Where do you store them? How much money have you invested on that? Stupid lawn ornament crap, the inflatable kind. It makes me want to take a pellet gun to all of them because I hate them. I despise them. I even hate the ones that do this waving thing at car dealerships. I hate those even worse. I hate them with a passion.
Wow, that was manic. Okay. Swan.
Yes. Was that
Swan's
a good one?
Manic Minute.
Inflatable lawn ornaments.
You're welcome.
I hate them. You can't afford siding on your house.
You've had your minute.
I know, but I just wanted to continue
Your minute is
it.
over.
I did a good job, though. I didn't even say bad words. I said frickin' frick.
I feel like it's implied.
No, I censored it.
I believe as a good Catholic, if you substitute words, but the intent was there, it's still a swear word.
No.
I used to get in trouble all the time.
I'll put one.
I used to get in trouble all the time.
Oh, there we go.
One. I'll give it one. I didn't even say the poop word. I said crap.
Poop.
No.
Well, see, that's again.
No, I did good.
I was told by my Catholic parents as a child, bull crap is swearing because that's your intent is to say something bad.
So, oh, well.
Just telling you. I thought for sure you were going to talk about breaking the glass on your car.
Oh, I'll put that down. Yeah. I have a brand new car, less than 2 months old, And I went out today. We're just gonna talk about it because now that you brought it up, now it's sore. It's sore deep in my heart. Brand new.
Is it brand new?
Brand new
Is your
Subaru
car brand new?
Crosstrek Wilderness Edition, super cute. And drove
Nice.
out of my neighborhood
Nice.
today. Turned the corner, and the little triangle window next to my the little triangle window next to my driver's side mirror, I heard a pop, and then it shattered. I'm pretty sure I got sniped. I think I'm going to wear a bandage on my ear for the rest of the week just to
Get all your followers.
get
to
all
do the
my
same thing.
followers to do the same thing.
Good
But
plan.
yeah, my window broke for no reason.
Wow.
And I'm trying to now figure out if I have to make an insurance claim for it or if it's covered under my vehicle warranty that I have. Yeah, not good.
Now, where are these inflatable things sold?
All Walmart, Amazon, everywhere. I hate
You
them.
can buy them anywhere.
I heard they have.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of them.
I heard they have a Darth Vader.
We're not getting it. They have a Snoopy. The neighbors have a bunch of them. If you want to go look at them, you can go look at the neighbor around the
Yeah,
block.
but how cool would it be if you got Darth Vader
It
and
would
like
not. It would not be cool at all.
and like 20 stormtroopers
Nope.
and just put them out on the lawn?
Nope. Do you know what also is annoying about them? They all are blown up with fans, so all you hear is a shh noise the whole time.
Well, how do you think they blow them up, Swan?
It has to stay running.
Right, it
though.
has to stay
No,
running.
I hate it. I hate it.
You touched a nerve there.
You did. I've hated them for years.
All right. Well, anyway,
Anyway,
I mean, now we've had your mania. Adam, do you have anything to promote that's coming up for you here in the future?
Nothing huge. Just shows. You can check me out on my website. My schedule's on there, adamminnick.com. And then I think that's it. There's nothing big right now. There's no recording coming up or anything. Which I wish I had something big coming up, but just a bunch of shows I'm excited about.
We'll just
So-
inflate it. I'll just cut this out later and be like, oh my God.
if you want to
it's
get on
huge.
that cruise,
Huge.
you want to get on that
I'm selling
cruise.
inflatables, by the way. I'm selling inflatables, but
Writing a book
those that
about
move around
inflatables.
at car dealerships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be in South Dakota for a show in May and a new club opening. So
Nice. All right.
I've been to South Dakota, but not for comedy. This is it'll be a lot of cool. It'll be a lot of fun. So, but yeah, that's check me out on my website, my calendar. Follow me.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll link
Be my
that in
friend.
the show notes. And we're excited. Swan, you going to do your thing?
I
or-
will when we're done.
Okay, well then fine. I'll say goodbye. I would like to thank Adam for being on the show. Swan, as always, nice job.
Thank you. Thank you.
No swearing this entire show.
I did pretty good.
Thank you for having me. This is a lot of fun.
Well, good. Excellent.
Good time.
I have nothing coming. Do I? I don't have any shows coming up, but I do get to be on at Dr. Grin's. I'm pretty excited about that. That's coming up in January. I get my 3 minutes.
That's a great club.
3 minutes. 3
Oh.
minutes.
Cool. That is a great club.
I believe I'm going to Dave Crumbly on a Sunday night at that whatever that pizza place is. Doing
In
that in
Toledo?
January in Toledo, Ohio. Yep.
Okay.
And then I must have something else. Oh, I'm going to do River City Saloon the last week of January, I believe. So, yeah, these
Cool.
are all, of course, all
Nice.
open mics. Nobody puts me on a show, which is fine. Someday,
You'll find your people.
I will find the
Those
people.
dark
I
people.
will find, and we'll have a show in a mausoleum, and we'll go really well.
I believe in you.
I'll knock them all dead. Knock them all dead in the mausoleum.
Oh, yo.
Hi-yo. And that's it for me, the Beaveman. Adios, mooch fuckos.
And from the Swan, we have a show coming up on Friday, January 24th at the Dormouse Theater in Kalamazoo, Michigan. It will be Adam Minnick will be our headliner, who was our guest today. Yeah, looking forward to that. Emily Butrick and Jen Flaxman, hosted by Devarron Thomas. Get your tickets at dormousetheater.com. Yay. Bye from the Swan.
Bye. Bye.